Alright, I just wanted to quickly talk about the Evilswarm deck I've been using constantly. Um, been getting me from, it got me straight from Silver 5 all the way to Gold 4, and I plan on keep using it to see if I can get all the way to Platinum with it. Evilswarms are what they are. They're anti-meta. That's what they're designed to do. You get your standard triple of the vanilla, triple Ash Blossom because you need it just to stop your opponent from doing stuff because the deck just needs to get their stuff up basically. Triple Rescue Rabbit, you need to see this card as soon as possible. Triple Magic Aura because it's always good for your turn 2, especially if you're going second. It's really good for going second. Triple Caster, you need it to start your combos. Thunderbird is okay. I'm thinking about dropping this down to 1 because honestly I've never used this effect. It's honestly just another Evilswarm. I'm not sure if having this at 2, I might just drop it down to 1. Kirkion, also the same as Caster, just to get your stuff on board. Dark Arm Dragon, I like this tech in here because it's honestly not that hard to get 3 darks on the board. I've gotten games so many times with this guy. It's pretty useful for this guy. You basically get to ban it. So as long as you have exactly 3 darks in your graveyard, you get to banish 1 dark. You can summon it to the field, and then you can banish 1 dark from your graveyard to target a card in the field and destroy that. And it's not once per turn; it's as many times you want. So it's pretty helpful. And honestly, it's really easy to influence your graveyard in this deck, considering you only really send 1 or 2 at a time because you can detach 1 for Ophion and whatnot, get his stuff, and then you don't really detach anymore because you want material on Ophion. The 1 Regeki, it's just really useful. It helps me a lot. The 1 Harpy Feather Duster because of Eldritch, basically any trap back row heavy decks. 1 Monster Born for extenders, Reinforcement the Armory to see your casters. He's the only warrior in this deck, but you need to see your casters. Allure of Darkness for draw power. These can be good or bad, but most of the time I've had them pretty good. You know, no issues with Allure of Darkness at all. Double or Nothing, go for game with Utopia Double and Utopia. Pandemic, you need this at 3. You need to protect your Evilswarms basically so that they don't die. Torrential Tribute, it's basically just a free board monster wipe on the board because you could just protect your stuff with Pandemic and then just set Torrential Tribute and then just Torrential whatever they summon. Threatening Roar, you could sub these 2 out for Eradicator Epidemic Virus. I feel like they do the same thing. They kind of just stall out the game. You can get your stuff ready to go basically. Threatening Roar basically just makes it so you don't die right away. Because I've had games where, I just have nothing turn 1 and then I pass turn. I set my Threatening Roar. They can OTK me by just hitting me with like 4k or whatever. Or they hit me with like Lycris, I think it's pronounced, where they attack you based on how many materials they have. So Threatening Roar just gets around that. I find it a little bit better in this meta because you just want to stop them from attacking you turn 2. Especially if you have a really bad turn 1. But you could take these out for Eradicator Epidemic Virus. They basically serve the same purpose to stall and stop your opponent from doing stuff. Terminus at 2. You don't really need this at 3. I feel like 2 is enough. Sometimes you'll have you'll have an Ophion and an extra body on board, so this is really good for that. Just at 2 is fine. Evenly Matched. I like Evenly Matched for going second. It's helped me so many times just get rid of huge ass boards where they just summon 3 things and just pass turn and have like 2 face downs. I love just evenly matching them. It's really good. The 1 Solemn Judgment. It's one of my favorite traps in the game. I play trap heavy builds because I really just like traps are my favorite thing to play in this game. So I like trap heavy builds and stuff. You could not consider this very trap heavy, but obviously for the meta it technically is because there's only 2 other decks that really are trap heavy. But I love the Judgment to just stop anything. I've had people quit because of Solemn Judgment. Extra deck. Utopia. Utopia is here for double. Steel Storm Roach. Basically negate a special summon. Very helpful. A lot of people special summon level 5 or higher. Dragon Maids, Eldritch. Tri Brigade, no. But it's pretty helpful for basically big bodies on board. Blue Eyes, Blue Eyes it helps too. Just filler, honestly. Plus, putting something face down is so helpful because you can't link with it. So if you just put something face down, it's really helpful. Bahamut, like such a good card, really good. The fact that it just take a monster and it's yours forever, so good. Thanatos, he's just here because it's just like you say, he's filler. You're only ever going into Ophion and Bahamut, and then you're going into Utopia for game. Everything else is very situational. I probably would just sub this out for maybe an Abyss Dweller. That's probably better, but I don't have Abyss Dweller currently, so I'm just going with what I got. Ouroboros, good removal. Well, it comes up once or twice, not often. Just leave it at 1. It's good enough. Black Strip of Corn. It's like 1,000 damage per game. Easy. Evilswarm Extinction Knight. Really good card. It's basically like a mini Zeus, except that they don't take damage that turn, but it's still pretty helpful because you can so they take no further damage this turn, which means you could just like main phase 2, go into this, wipe their board if you didn't do anything, wipe their back row or whatever. Because usually, like I said, in this deck you only ever have 1 body on board or 2. You really don't have more than 2 bodies on board. Baguska, also really good, standard, just removal. You know, EWW does Zeus because you can, if you really wanted to, like when you can go Bahamut, take control of their monster, attack them, and main phase 2, put your Bahamut, put Zeus on Bahamut, and it's just so good to get rid of their stuff if they still had more stuff or anything like that. It's very helpful. 1 Steelstorm Origin, it comes up like once in a blue moon. It's not that big of a deal, honestly. Like I don't know why we got this thing. It's not really helpful. It's probably not helpful for this deck, but it's probably helpful for the other Swarm decks. But honestly, this deck is such an XYZ heavy build. I love it a lot. Obviously, like it's not gonna compete with the crazy, you know, meta Tri-Brigade, Lycoris, all that stuff. But it's good for what you want to do for anti stuff. Especially a lot of the meta now is Eldritch, and I've been seeing a lot of Blue Eyes lately as well. But yeah, I just wanted to share my build of the Evilswarm. If you have any other suggestions, let me know. And thank you so much for listening in, and I hope you enjoy all the videos I upload.